All right, we're back with the Malapert Smark podcast. I got the two greatest people on earth here. No offense to everyone else, but these are the two best ones. Vlad, the wrestling expert, my good friend. Thank you for being on the show today.
Happy to be here, as always.
All right. You don't have to lie, but I'm glad that your family owes my family a favor, so that's why I'm holding you hostage here at this Malapert Smark podcast.
Exactly.
Why else would you be voluntarily doing it?
Yeah, I've been paying off my debt for what is this? You said this is the 86th episode? Jesus, when does it end?
Man,
When does it end?
86. Wow.
And we're still in season 1 because we'll always be in season 1.
Is there?
Because we're never going to stop. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I was about to say, I didn't know this was a seasonal show. I thought this was just something that we do.
No, there isn't. It's just one season. It started at the beginning and it goes forever. We're never going to stop.
It goes until we decide to end it. But that won't be happening anytime soon because we're having too much fun talking wrestling.
Unless we go bankrupt and WWE buys us out.
What are they going to buy us out? Okay.
They're going to buy all our footage, all our old shows, you know what I mean? It's a lot of content, bro. They just want content. They're going to put it on Peacock, the Malapert Smark.
Okay, if we're ever on Peacock, that's going to be a huge achievement.
We should be. Honestly, our reviews of WCW have been really good lately. I've been really enjoying those. I think those are bomb. I haven't seen anyone else do it the way we do it.
Well, yeah, sure, but I'm sure that WWE, they wouldn't care for us reviewing WCW, even though they own WCW, but you know what I mean.
Somebody should be doing it, though. There should be a weekly show on, Peacock or WWE Network or something with somebody hosting a show going over old footage instead of just relying on you to go back and watch everything. Yeah. They're like, here's everything.
All the episodes are available on Peacock, though, right?
They are. Yeah.
They are, but who's gonna go start at the very beginning and watch every wrestling show of all time? It's hard to choose something. Someone should organize it for you and be like, all right, this was good, But anyways, regardless, thank you for being on the Malapert Smark podcast, Vlad. We appreciate your time. Robert, also the Frozen Asian. Thank you very much for being here. Listen, for all the years we've been friends, we've talked about WrestleMania, after WrestleMania, after WrestleMania, after WrestleMania. How about one more WrestleMania with The Rock? Huh?
Nice.
Man, well, listen, for all the crap I've talked about The Rock in recent times and my whole life, there has been some periods of time where The Rock, I think, was better than others. Other times where it's just an issue in wrestling where baby faces tend to be uninteresting because how edgy can you be as a baby face? And The Rock as a baby face would just come out and do his catchphrase over and over and over again and the people would eat it up. But some people like me and Vlad also listen to the Jim Cornette podcasts. Brian Last, I listen to him and he sounds just like me. So I'm not the only one who thinks this guy is really boring and uninteresting. But this past Friday, I gotta admit, I had to admit that this was pretty freaking good.
Sure did.
This was good stuff. But before we get there, this is the road to WrestleMania 2024 we're on. It will be WrestleMania 40. Before we get to Smackdown, let's talk about Raw before that. Some developments since we last talked about all this WrestleMania stuff. The last time we talked about the news conference and how it was going to be Roman and The Rock. But then Cody came in, changed his mind after The Rock was saying stuff about him and his fans, and then Triple H on SmackDown announced that it's going to be Roman and Cody. Then that's final. Then on Monday, so we didn't talk about this past Monday night on Raw, Seth Rollins came out to talk to Cody Rhodes and formed an alliance with him, which is an interesting development, I would say, because we all know what happens in these Roman Reigns matches. He has a lot of help and interference and ends up keeping the title at the end. So now it's looking like it's going to be a war on that night. I guess Cody will have help at this point. He's looking like he's got Seth Rollins. Jey Uso, I guess, should be another guy that's going to be on his side if he could form a little army to face the Bloodline. So any comments about this stuff with Seth Rollins and Cody before we move on to The Rock and Roman on SmackDown? I'll start with Vlad, the wrestling expert.
It wasn't, as far as Seth Rollins segments, this wasn't so bad. When he's semi-serious, or at least more serious, when he's not doing that cackle of a laugh and when he's not laughing up a storm and just dancing around the ring and humming his song, he's not bad, obviously. I've always felt that way. That's why I don't understand the gimmick. But anyways, as far as this goes, yeah, obviously, logically, it makes sense to have some support because Roman's going to try to cheat at WrestleMania. All his matches end up being that way, where somebody in the bloodline helps him out and he wins the match. So, okay, yes, Seth Rollins is as good as any.
They have history with Roman and him too, so that's kind of good.
They were part of a really, really impactful group. Right, the Shield. She kind of referenced it, right?
Said he's going to be Cody's shield against Roman and the Bloodline. But I think they'll need more than Seth Rollins. We'll see as time progresses what other alliances might arise. Robert, let's get to you. Any thoughts on the Seth Rollins segment with Cody and them forming an alliance?
I thought that was cool. Cody definitely will need the help. That's for sure. I do believe that he will finish the story this WrestleMania, but definitely the odds are stacked against him after what happened in the press conference and then what we'll be talking about pretty soon about what happens on Smackdown. So yeah, the odds are definitely stacked against him. He'll need all the help he can get. Seth Rollins stood up for him in the press conference, so it only makes sense that he offered his aid on Raw. That segment, he pretty much made it public that he will be Cody's shield and that he was the one most suited for that role. One of the few Seth Rollins segments that I didn't hate. But yeah, not bad.
Just throw in real quick that you mentioned who else could be on Cody's side. Maybe like Sami Zayn, maybe Kevin Owens, guys like that have been with him in the past. Maybe they'll come out and support him during this, surely, which will be a match that's going to have a lot of interference based on just precedent.
It's going to be intense, man. This is going to be like all the marbles are on the line in this one match, man. It's going to be like literally a war.
Yeah, this is going to be big time, but it's going to be an interference-fueled match for sure, is what I'm saying. There'll be a referee going down, and all hell will break loose at some point during this match.
An interesting circumstance of enemies. I guess they were feuding last year, turned friends now all of a sudden.
You're talking about who?
About Seth and Cody.
Right.
They had that really long feud when Cody tore his pec and Seth was going after it. Like, come on. And then now he's like, I have your back. Okay. All right. That's wrestling, though. What can I say? Right. So let's move along to Smackdown, when Roman and The Rock officially cemented their alliance as Bloodline brethren. Well, at first it looked like they were going to feud and have a match for whatever reason out of the blue, but that fell apart. And we were talking before the show about whether we should do a little watch along for this one, since it was kind of a hot segment. So this is going to be our watch along for the week for modern wrestling. We haven't done one in a while, so
the guy that ruined everything, yes, Cody. But tonight we fix it, because tonight is about history. Tonight is the first night that we can say The Rock is a member of the Bloodline.
Brian was at this show. Our friend Brian.
Oh, he was?
In Utah? In Salt Lake?
I guess so. I don't know why, but okay. I guess we'll ask him when we see him.
The one thing that wasn't mentioned, like, who's the leader of this? Is it Roman still, or is it The Rock?
Well, Roman's the Universal Champion, so yeah, of course it's Roman.
So The Rock is fine that Roman is the head of the tribal chief?
I was going to say as a comment later on, I think that this will turn into an angle that eventually leads to a feud between the two of them.
You would think down the line.
Yeah, down the line, yeah. They're just not mentioning it now, but they will later.
Another thing I must say, look, The Rock is just hella huge. It's so unnaturally big that it's just not right to be this big at his age.
I don't know how he does it. Some people say he's on steroids.
We know how he does it. But I'm not going to say what, because I don't have any evidence, but we all know.
What is up with that? Why are people still doing steroids? I thought this was like a bad thing, right? A lot of people died and got heart attacks.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I'm kind of, what I'm trying to hint at, that I'm kind of worried for his overall health, because he seems to be hitting it pretty hard with the roids.
I guess to a lot of people, though, it's more important to have success in life and make money than, it's going to cost you your health. I mean, that's in the wrestling industry.
It's just just too good. It's just not naturally.
Well, that was Scott Steiner. That's a lot of people in wrestling history, man.
Yeah.
Brian Cage. They gotta keep it up to make the money, man. They gotta keep getting booked.
Is The Rock worried about making money? Is he worried about getting
he's
booked?
probably worried about getting roles, like, movie roles and stuff.
Yeah, but he looked fine before.
To know his role.
He didn't have to blow up. He didn't have to blow up like this. But whatever. I just wanted to throw it out there. It's too crazy how big he is.
The Rock has got some good news to share. Something that's going to make you happy, something that you could own. Tonight, it is official. You all, right now, live on Fox, have broken an all-time indoor attendance record. Not only...
I'm like, how many people could there be in this stadium? I said that to myself, like, isn't there like 15,000 people here max?
Utah, congratulations. Well, here's the record you broke. You broke the all-time record for the largest gathering of trailer park trash The Rock has ever seen.
Well, all right. This is better. No, this is more like it. Bring out the old Rock, man.
Now, if you didn't like that, you're gonna love this. Finally.
Oh, here he goes with his catchphrases.
Oh, you want to boo that, huh? Are you sure you want to boo The Rock? Finally, your life has meaning. Finally, you and your 50 wives will have a story to tell.
Oh my God.
And you know what I'm talking about? You'll have a story to tell your 600 inbred grandchildren one day.
Jesus Christ. I thought this guy was going to run for president.
What it's like to look at greatness in the flesh, because finally,
Yeah, he's pulling a Donald Trump.
come back to Salt Lake City.
Well, he's not winning Utah.
He probably wouldn't have won Utah anyways.
Yeah.
Well, some fans, even with the abuse, they're like masochist fans. He made fun of them like hell. They're still like, Rocky.
You all have bought a side out of The Rock that you haven't seen in years. But you see, this side of The Rock has always been in here. Always. You shut your mouth, fatty. The Rock will come out there and slap the herpes off your lips.
Man, he was on fire in this segment. I had thought The Rock lost it. Honestly, Robert, I thought it passed him by.
Yeah, I'll give my thoughts on that in a minute.
No, I never really thought he lost it, but I couldn't.
And
So
you
yeah,
know why you're
let's wait
seeing
for
it
that.
tonight? Because it's The Rock and Roman Reigns. The biggest WrestleMania main event in the history of WrestleMania. You had it in your hands and you let it go. You flushed it down the toilet. The same toilet you sat your fat asses on, and you sat there and tweeted, "We want Cody! We want Cody! Cody's gonna finish his story! He's gonna finish his story!" You're laughing now and you're booing because you know it's true. Let The Rock ask you a question. Let The Rock ask you a question. What is Cody's story? What is the story? Let The Rock make it clear. My cousin Roman Reigns, the Universal Champion, beat Cody's ass last year at WrestleMania. He beat him. Cody lost the match, and now all of a sudden, Cody wants a rematch?
Well,
That's his story.
he did win the Royal Rumble.
That's true.
That's not how it works.
Well, it actually is.
That's how the Royal Rumble
Think about
works.
it
That's how the Royal
think
Rumble
about how
works, yeah.
stupid that logic is. Think if you can apply that to sports. Hold on a second. I know you inbreds want to chant what, but sit there and shut your mouth and listen to The Rock. Because this is important. And The Rock is going to educate your ignorant asses. Apply that
Paul
stupid
Heyman's
logic
losing
to
it.
any sport. The 49ers just lost against the Kansas City Chiefs. What did they do? What did they do? Did the 49ers say, whoa, wait a minute. What about our story? We got to finish our story. No. They took their lunch like men. They stood up, they dusted themselves off, and they moved on like men. That's what they do. Now everybody in this arena, in this city, and in this entire state, you should understand this. It's personal. Think about it for a second. Michael Jordan came in here and he crushed the dreams of the Utah Jazz.
That was a good
He
reference.
ended. You boo because it's the truth.
Well, it's true. But it's the only sports thing you could mention about Utah.
The Utah Dream story. What did the Utah Jazz do? They took the beating like men and they moved on. And they worked their asses off to get right back to the top. That's what they did.
It's true. Utah didn't finish their story, Vlad, so it is possible that Cody could not finish his story like I predicted last week.
The real world doesn't work like that. You don't get a shot at another story just because you want it. You don't understand that because you're spoiled, entitled, little crybaby bitches. Cody Rhodes, make one thing perfectly clear. The Rock is going to do everything in his power to make sure that you walk out of WrestleMania what you are, which is a loser. Everything in his power to make sure that happens. Cody, your story is just ending. Our story is just beginning. The Bloodline, the most powerful, dominant duo in sports and entertainment, and of course in the WWE. If you smell! No. Salt Lake City, sing along with The Rock is over. You lost that privilege. Sit there and shut your mouth and enjoy the ride that The Rock is taking you on. If you smell what the Bloodline is cooking.
Man, he pooped himself out in that promo, man. He's all red. The veins are popping out of his head. But all right, there you go. Let's start with Robert, man. Let's get some thoughts from you for this Rock promo from Smackdown.
Oh boy, The Rock was cooking that night. All right. I am a really, really big Rock fan. I'll have to say that was probably the most entertaining promo he's cut in probably 2 decades, in my opinion, and this is coming from a big Rock fan. Okay?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I think ever since his initial comeback when he called out John Cena, he was never this fired up. I can't remember the last time since then that he was like this fired up. So yeah, he was definitely on fire that night. It was good to see. When I heard the Rocky chants, I was like, hey, okay, maybe because the Rock fans that are in attendance were just happy to see the old Rock back, and that's why they were like chanting his name so loud. So I was a little surprised by that, but it made sense to me because I was just sitting here while I was watching it. I was just like smiling, like, oh my goodness, finally. Yeah,
That's
finally.
the name of our segment here. That's what I called this segment.
Yeah.
Final, yeah, there you go. I didn't even catch that. So yeah, finally.
That's what I meant. Exactly what I
A
meant.
glimpse of the old Rock that I grew up loving. It's like, yes. All right. A couple things I also want to mention. Ever since the Sami Zayn part of the Bloodline angle was put to an end, I feel like the Bloodline era has been kind of stale. It's very few times where it was interesting. To me, it's finally really interesting again. And Keihan, I think in last week's episode, you asked me if WWE had righted the ship. I wasn't quite sure how to answer that last week. Now I feel like they're really starting to. I don't really know what The Rock is going to end up doing for WrestleMania. They haven't really announced anything official yet. But I'm starting to like it. I think it's actually more interesting now with his involvement. So we'll see how that goes. One last comment regarding this segment. At the very end, when the whole Bloodline was throwing up the one sign, The Rock was doing this instead of yeah, it was like this. So I was like, okay, hold up. Did The Rock join the Bloodline or Bullet Club Gold? I don't get it.
Bang Bang Scissor Gang.
I was like, did he join the wrong group? But overall, I really love this segment. It really took me back. So,
All right, Vlad, the floor is yours.
Yeah, I pretty much, for the most part, will echo a lot of what Robert just said. It was a very good segment. He was on top of his game promo-wise. I never really felt he quote-unquote like lost it as yes, I agree this was the best stuff he's done in a long time, but that's because he's a heel. I think it's easier material to get good promos out of heels for the most part. They're more interesting, they're more captivating, they can be a little bit more edgy, right? They're the heel. So in that sense, this was very good. And I think despite them having to pivot out of The Rock and Roman and it back to Cody because of the reaction, they've done a really good job getting themselves out of that situation and still putting Cody back in, turning Rock heel. It was really like masterfully done. Like it all made sense within the situation. I enjoyed the promo. I'm enjoying not knowing how they're gonna exactly use The Rock, if he's gonna be just like some sort of enforcer type thing for Roman's match and that's it. Is he gonna have any matches of his own? I don't know. I mean, we'll have to see, I guess. But all in all, like I said, great promo. He just ripped into the fans. There was a lot of material that he used that he hadn't used in a long time, mocking the city that they were in, mocking the sports teams. I mean, this is all classic heel stuff, right? That's just been done. And I think the reaction that he got from like mostly boos, but then there was that time where Robert mentioned that he was getting the Rocky chant. I think it's kind of similar to like when MJF was like a full-fledged heel and he was getting cheered because the smart marks know that this is really like good stuff, right? Like this is good stuff. So I think even if you're like not with what he's saying, you still have to appreciate the work that he's doing. Overall, very excited, very happy with where they're going. I do think that somehow Cody is going to win that match, though, because just from the vantage point of the bloodline and everything, I think it does kind of have to end at some point. This is not something that could just go on forever and ever. But I guess we'll get there as the weeks go on and we'll see how things go. But just as far as this segment goes, really good stuff.
Well, yeah, we have to appreciate the work of him calling everyone in the audience a spoiled bitch.
Spoiled bitches, inbred trash.
That was very good work. This is good work when it comes to wrestling.
Well, it was good heel mic work, is what I mean. Not like good. Well, he wasn't wrestling, but you know what I mean. Like
no, yeah, I know what you mean. I understand. Yeah. I totally feel that. I mean, yeah. I thought it was an A+ promo. I give it an A+.
The promo itself is perfect.
And just because it's easier to be a heel doesn't mean that it's easy to be a heel. No. A lot of heels go up there and try to make fun of the audience and nobody gives a damn. So this whole thing is working. And I think as to your questions about what The Rock is going to do at WrestleMania, I don't think he's going to have a match with just somebody. He's not going to have any match.
So it's going to be more of what I said, the first thing I said, which is like he'll be like an enforcer. Probably.
Yeah. So this is going to be a bunch of people around the ring and there's going to be a lot of chaos and stuff.
Any chance that this is a swerve to throw Roman off, and he actually cost Roman the match?
I guess that could set off the Roman Rock feud that they need to do somehow. And I also don't think it would be so bad, because we talked last week about what would they do if Cody won, and what would be the storyline going from there. I think they could just do that. Cody could win, and then the storyline could be that Roman's trying to get it back, and maybe he does get it back, and maybe it goes back and forth. I don't know.
Yeah.
So he could just continue feuding with the Bloodline. It doesn't necessarily have to be the end of the Bloodline just because he lost the title. It doesn't mean that's the end and you got to go home forever.
No, of course not. But I think it'd be interesting if my theory that I'm putting together, if The Rock does cost Roman, potentially, if that's like a swerve, wouldn't that more likely set up a Roman Rock thing and then Cody goes on to do his own thing with the new opponent?
Yeah, it could be that. They could do that. I was just thinking that Rock could cost Cody, and then they could do Rock versus Cody for SummerSlam or something, you know, and then that would kill more time for Cody to continue his finish the story, which may or may not ever finish. So I don't know. I think you're, like you said, a lot of people will be pissed if it doesn't finish. I'm kind of with The Rock. It doesn't necessarily have to finish. Like in real life, people have lost 2 NBA finals in a row. It doesn't necessarily mean that you're going to finish your story just because you get to the finals again. You know, you could be the Buffalo Bills or something.
Sure. You could be the 49ers, right? Always kind of a bridesmaid. Sure.
We don't know. But at this point...
We don't know, but... Okay, yes. In a sense, yes. But this is a little bit different since this is not exactly sports, right? They're picking the winners, right? The company chooses who they want to win these matches, right? So
it would sure be poor story writing. It wouldn't be...
It just would not be right, is what I'm saying from story-wise, if they let Roman beat Cody again, is what I'm saying. If they do decide to do it, they'll do it. I mean, it's up to them. But I'm just saying, not the way I would definitely do it.
All right, then. That'll do it for this segment. Let's move along. Everybody who's listening out there, thank you. Please leave your comments for what you thought about the Rock segment. Hit like and subscribe and follow us on podcasting platforms. Any podcast app you use, we should be up there too. If you want to just listen to the show. So that'll be it for WWE Talk until we get more news about something that might affect WrestleMania. And we'll add it to our channel. If you subscribe, you should get notified. For our next segment, when we come back, next time you see us, we're going to go back to WCW 1996. We're going to continue our running series of WCW after Hogan turned heel and wreaked havoc on WCW. We love that stuff. It's on our channel. There's a running playlist. See you on the next one.